Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to our weekly FX analysis. Normally we do these on a Monday, folks. It completely slipped my mind on Monday. I don't even remember what I was doing. I was just looking through the videos today, and I went, "Goodness, I've forgotten to put out the weekly recording." Um, Big day today, guys. Russia did exactly what everyone knew they were going to do, and it just amazes me that they can lie and lie and lie, and then go ahead 2 weeks later and do the exact thing that they said they weren't going to do. It's human beings never cease to frustrate me. But there you go, folks. Maybe I just expect people to be honest. Um, so they've invaded Ukraine. We've no idea how this is going to turn out. Obviously, it's not going to be good for Ukrainian people. But anyway, let's focus on currencies, folks. That's what we're here to do. Obviously, we've had a big move to safety, and that will be. I haven't looked through these today, guys, but we know what moves to safety are. You'll get a move long in the dollar. You'll get a move long in the yen. You'll get a move long in the Swiss. And unless Bitcoin has really become the new digital gold, which I always doubted, and but we had to play around with the Generation X or whatever they're called, guys, the young guys. Oh, you get the young Turks. They come along and they think they know everything. Anyway, we'll see. We'll go through this and we'll see. But I'm pretty sure that Bitcoin will have dropped, Ethereum will have dropped, the rest of crypto will have dropped, and gold and silver will have gone long, folks. Now, if I'm wrong, I will humbly apologize, but there we go. So that's DXY long. Obviously, then we have a move down in the euro dollar, which is nice for me because I got short here, guys. I didn't believe the hype about Europe or the euro a few weeks ago, guys. And I thought it would have gone short here, to be quite honest. Unfortunately, it went off in the wrong direction. I didn't have a tight stop loss in. I eventually put a stop loss in here and said, well, if I don't want to lose anything more if I'm wrong. Fortunately for me, I didn't. It came close. I didn't sit and watch it, guys, but it clearly came very, very close. And then we started to get the pullback. Now, looking at this, there's potentially two schools of thought. Let's go out a little bit further, guys, just to have a bigger picture of it. This is what's been happening in the last year. Since the start of October, November. Yeah, from the start of 2021, guys, we've had this strengthening of the dollar. And at some point it'll finish and the euro will start to come back in. Let's do it on the XY. There's the strengthening of the dollar, guys. And we're in this structure. At some point, this structure will break. And it'll start to drop because it's a corrective structure. It will start to go in that direction. But the important thing is that could be this year, but it could also be next year. So, trying to time where it turns is obviously difficult. But just given that the Fed's already tightening, they've already cut back on their quantitative easing. It finishes, I think it's the 9th of March, it finishes. They are going to hike. And the debate is how many times do they hike this year? Some people are saying 7, some people are saying 4. But whatever it is, it's somewhere in there, guys. So the dollar's hiking. Now, is it fully priced in? Well, that's the thing we don't know. But I'm kind of saying, well, I don't think it is fully priced in yet. Now, if it is fully priced in, then what we're getting here is potentially a Head and Shoulders. Now, I don't trade structures like that, guys, but I am aware of them, and I do see them when they potentially happen. I can remember putting a chart out, must be 3 or 4 years ago, when I believed in these sort of things, guys. And there was a beautiful, I think it was I can't remember, it was a Head and Shoulders or something, guys. And I put a chart out in TradingView and went, hey, this is going to drop because there's a Head and Shoulders and blah, blah, blah. And it just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And it made me question, all this structure analysis. No, not structure analysis. Whatever that's called. Those shapes, Head and Shoulders, butterflies, blah blah blah. So you got to take the fundamentals into your analysis as well, guys. So the fundamentals are that the US is tightening. Europe isn't anywhere near tightening at the minute. And depending on what happens with this war, they mightn't be in a position to tighten for the foreseeable, well, I'm not saying foreseeable future, but certainly for the next 6 months and maybe the next year, they'll not be in a position to tighten. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we've had. Will it continue on up? I suspect so, but it is possible we get a flat period in here, but I'm certainly wouldn't be calling that yet. Maybe it moves on up a bit more. I have 100 in my head, guys. It's a nice number that the dollar obviously rotates around. I have 100 in my head, and then when we get here, we'll get a period of running flat back and forward. Is it? Isn't it? And then off we'll go. Is it possible that that's the period, and this will be where it drops? It's possible, but that will depend on what happens over the next few weeks and months, guys. Is Russia in for a prolonged war? Do the Ukrainians fight back, or does their army just surrender? We'll have to see. I see Putin this morning come out and said, any Ukrainian troops that walk away from the front line and go home to their families, you're safe. Yeah, I bet you they don't believe him. So we'll have to see what happens. Euro US, obviously the opposite way around. I think it's going to continue to drop. Pound, let's get down to the 1 hour time scale here, guys. I have been calling this short. We had this move and they were in a correction, and now it's starting to drop again, guys. You see there, I was calling it short from back over there. You can't time these things correctly. Usually when I draw usually when I draw a line like that, it's about 3 weeks later it happens, guys. But that's, you've got to have patience. If you think you're going to time it to the day, the week, the hour, or even the minute, no, that's you're going to be very disappointed if you try to do that. But we do get the direction correct ultimately. Aussie will be the same, guys. Well, it hasn't broken out yet, but I imagine that will continue to drop. New Zealand will be the same. It's broken the alarm line there. You can see there we were looking for it to drop from there, which is the reason why you need to give these things time and space. I didn't suggest you trade it short from there. I just said that I think it'll continue to drop. It pushed on up. It's a beautiful zigzag, guys. Look at it. And now it's going to continue to drop. Dollar CAD. It's pushing up and it's pushing against the oil price, guys. But the US does produce oil as well, so it's not as effective against the CAD isn't as effective against the dollar as it would be against non-oil producing currencies. But I wouldn't try and trade that anywhere. This is similar in that, yes, we're getting a push up. We were expecting a push up. But the Swiss should be going long, guys. I haven't established that yet. We're still talking about the dollar. And then our old, you know, this one always moves furthest and fastest. And I don't know why I should trade this more often, guys. Look, from my way back here, we said it would pull back and then we'd get a move up. Now, is that a beautiful, you know, so you have an impulse, you have a pullback, and then it does that. Well, yeah, it didn't do it exactly the way we expect, but they never do, guys. Or should I say they rarely do. Even that, you would draw a straight line in there, but we know it's going to pull back, push up, could come the diagonal, but eventually it's going to get there. And that's the point we were making. It's going to pull back from that point, and then it's going to push on up and it will break the point, and that's what it did. So, from an analysis point of view, I am pretty good at what I do, guys. Trading it, that's another thing. Because you need tremendous patience and courage when you're trading these things. Because yet again here, guys, we were looking for a pullback. Drew that a few weeks ago. Said, look at how it's moving. It's going to pull back again before it makes its next move up. It didn't just pull back one and then go. It pulled back and it's dropped and it's dropped and it's dropped. So yet again, the problem with this one is it's the yen. The yen must be strengthening, because of the move to safety. So obviously at the moment, that's not one to trade. Let it go where it goes, even if it pushed down a bit further. But at some point, there'll be a relief rally, as it were, and it will go in that direction. But just leave it alone for the meantime. Now, this is the one that's been baffling me. And I laughed yesterday because I got long in this, guys. I got long in it up here somewhere. I saw that impulse, looked at the fundamentals. China's busy loosening their monetary policy, and the US is busy tightening their monetary policy. So obviously it has to go in that direction, where it drew that massive arrow there, guys. And if we come out and we look at this, you can see what we're talking about. This needs to move back up into that space. But when you get back down to the tighter time scales, the lower time scale, you see this sort of thing happening. And the point that I was about to say there, and then I got distracted, was I was listening to Bloomberg yesterday, and one of their the main crew that's on in the morning turned around and laughed and said, "Guys, what's going on with they call it the renminbi, I call it the yuan because it's easier to say." He said, "What's going on with it?" Just exactly what I've been saying. I said, "Well, thank goodness that somebody else is saying what on earth is going on with this, because this should be going long." So that's encouraged me to stay in it. Obviously, I got in here somewhere, guys. We're drawn down. It started to recover there, and I thought, okay, here we go. And then it dropped and dropped. Now there's a little move up here today. Maybe this is the start of it moving long. But as I say, if you go out a little bit and you look at it, it's had a massive move down, and now it's kind of doing that. It's running out of steam, running out of puff, and it's going to start to come long. So looking for this to break out and run long. Gold, there you go, guys. You see, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Look at that. So, guys, Bitcoin is not the new gold. Gold is the gold. Gold's gold. Bitcoin is something completely different. I like Bitcoin. I've started to understand a bit more about it, but it isn't digital gold, folks. So there you go. The real money going into gold. Now, can you remember way back over here, I got involved in a few gold mining stocks. I didn't buy gold itself, but I got involved in a few gold mining. So it wouldn't have been there exactly. It would have been maybe there somewhere, guys. It had this nice push up, pullback, and I thought, well, this is going to continue to go. And that was the time when all the when the S&P had just, I haven't got it here anymore. The S&P had just gone nuts, in the Nasdaq, guys. Let's go to Stockwatch. What was that? May, was it last year? December 2022, May, November, September. This can't be right. 2021. Nasdaq, that's what I'm looking for, folks. Okay. My goodness. How wrong did I get that? There, to see here. Am I right? 2021, we're in 22 now. Yeah, in around here, it started to run flat. So I started moving out of some of the the growth stocks, tech stocks. As it turned out, it was probably a bit too early. 6 months too early. It was 6 months too early, guys. This is the place where you needed to move into gold. And there's, by the way, I drew that cross quite a few weeks ago. I don't even know if I spoke about it. I drew that cross and put that circle in it because, as you know, if price is up here somewhere, I'll often do that, draw a circle, and then put an arrow out of it. And what I mean by that is that's your zone to start to look to buy, or if it's the other way around, obviously to sell. So I put that in, and look at this, guys. Look where we are. And it was probably when we were around here somewhere, because I looked at this and said a zigzag. I'm pretty sure that's what I said, how I got to that. Might have been a little bit more technical than that. I can't remember rightly, guys. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. Although I still traded long. I got rid of a few things and rotated into a few other things, guys. But I'm still getting battered like everybody else. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Okay, so there we have it. Silver, yeah, silver. Also, I got in over here at that same time. So, unfortunately, I've continued to add to the. Not unfortunately, guys. I've continued to add to the account in the meantime, and the account's probably twice the size it was back then. So those gold and silver positions aren't really going to do that much to offset the downward motion of the Nasdaq, guys. But it's something. And we got one thing right, which was, well, two things right. One was that eventually gold and silver would come along, and the second thing was that I didn't think Bitcoin or Ethereum were digital gold. Let's just have a look at silver. Yeah, I'll probably be breaking. I haven't looked at the account this morning, guys. I'll be breaking even there on silver after whatever length of time that is. Or was it further back? No, it wasn't. It was here somewhere. Yeah, well, we'll discuss it next week when I have a look, guys. Okay, oil. There we are. Almost $100 a barrel, guys. That we put that in. Instead, it's going long. It's gone long. There was my target. Can it go above it? Possibly. But we certainly, from a way down here, we said that's where it was going to, folks. At one point in here, we said, well, it might run flat for a while and then start to move up before coming back down. But don't be thinking about shorting oil anytime soon, folks. EuroCAD. Let's get back into the 1 hour so we can see what's going on here. Oil prices gone up. Euro's dropping because of the the war that's just started. So we'll have that moving, and that's what I said would happen. You can see there what I was saying was going to happen. A squiggle and then a drop out. Euro, same thing. Euro odds, same thing. Looking for that to drop. It's continued to drop. Euro New Zealand. I think I must have moved this, folks. You can see there what I was looking for. It's dropped a lot steeper than that. I don't know whether I moved that or not. I do know I was looking at these the other day and I reset a lot of alarms. I'm not sure if I reset that one. And yeah, that's the New Zealand has been strengthening up this week. So you'll probably see a pullback in the New Zealand Aussie. What's next for this? Well, I don't know, guys, at the minute. I would say continued short, but I wouldn't be jumping in short there. It's already moved quite away. That one's away. If you got short in there, you're happy. And if you want to hang on, it could move a bit further down. Euro yen, obviously, we were looking for this to come up. But it wasn't one that I was saying, hey, buy this. I was just saying, listen, let's put an alarm in there and see what happens. That's the war news has pushed it even further down, guys. What to do next, don't know at this stage. Euro Swiss, same thing, guys. We had that move down. We were looking for this structure to continue to go long, but that war news has just changed everything. So we'll leave that alone for the meantime till we find out what's going to happen. Pound CAD, that's pulled back because of the oil price. Pound hasn't been hit as badly, I don't think, by the war at the minute. Although they have already put sanctions on, they have another draft of sanctions to put on. The difference between the UK and the rest of Europe is that the UK doesn't rely on gas from Russia, but the rest of Europe does massively. There's a little bit of gas in the UK that comes from Russia, but nowhere near the percentage that they have in Europe. So, but nonetheless, if gas prices go up, obviously, you'll still have to pay more for it because it's a free market. But the point I'm making is that there isn't a chance that Russia can switch off gas supplies to the UK. Pound Oz, yeah, well, we said that would continue to drop, which what it's done. I imagine that will continue. I'm not overly excited about trading that, guys. Pound New Zealand, yeah, it's just doing the same as the Oz. It's correcting this massive move up, guys, and it could continue to correct. I don't have an angle on it at the minute. Pound Swiss, well, that's the strengthening of the Swiss. We were looking to see if that was going to break out long, but I wasn't enamored with it, guys. The only trades I have on at the moment are euro dollar short. No, yeah, euro dollar short. Chinese yuan dollar long, with the dollar being first, the dollar Chinese yuan long, and then CAD Swiss, which we'll look at in a minute. Pound euro, yeah, it's kind of hasn't moved much. Went up and it's come back down again, guys. No big differential there. Pound yen, well, there's a nice move against the pound by the yen. And that will continue to move in the direction that the war goes in, guys. In other words, if this war continues and drags out, that will continue to drop. But if it's a sharp shock and it's over very quickly, then you'll see the pound recover. But for the meantime, leave it alone. Aussie yen, well, from back there, we're looking for it to go long. It came up, give us what seems to be a double top. And then obviously with the war news, it's pulled back. Would I want to trade it short? Not necessarily. Aussie New Zealand. Well, there's that strengthening of the New Zealand against the Aussie over the last week or so, guys. Now, there's our circle. Probably drew it in the 4 hours, guys, because it looks exaggerated there. Yeah, this would have been drawn in the 4 hours. So when we got to here, I said, listen, if we get a pullback, I'd be interested in buying there. Maybe down into that level. So if it gets down into there, maybe I consider trading it long. But we're not there yet. But at some point over the next few weeks, maybe a month, depending how long that is, I'll look to see is there an opportunity to trade this long. Aussie Swiss. Let's get back to the 1 hour, folks. Yeah, yet again, it's pulled back because of the war news. We'll have to see where that goes to. I have no ideas of it yet. Here, we did call this long, but I didn't suggest you trade it. It's gone long because of the oil price, folks. No, it hasn't. Telling you lies. It went long despite the oil price. Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't call it, because I don't quite get. I should actually take that one off, guys, because I don't get it. And I don't think I ever will get it unless I did a lot of research in the pair, which I don't have time to do or really an inclination to do. There's enough things out there to trade without worrying about that. Swiss yen. Well, I was looking at this a few weeks ago, and just looking at the structure of it, there was a 3 there, guys, and I just thought, well, this could drop, come down there to give us a zigzag down into that level there, and then off we go. I did put a big question mark to say I wasn't sure if that was going to happen or not, but if it did happen, then I'd look to trade it long. Now, surprisingly, despite the fact the gold price has gone up, we've had a sharp move down there. I don't know if it's significant or not, guys. Yet again, that's not a place for me to trade long from. If it got down into there, I would certainly look to trade it long. And I don't want to try and trade it short because I don't know if it's going to get down there. It's okay not to know, folks. CAD Swiss. Now, this is the one I went long here somewhere because I was looking for a break out of this. What it's turned out to be, if we go out to the 4 hours, and potentially I should have realised that, is well, maybe it's not what I was going to say. I thought there was an impulse here, guys, and we were getting some sort of double zigzag before it continues on up, but it's not. It's a flat correction. So it should move to the top of it, I imagine. Now remember that oil price is going up and gold price is going up, so the two of these are going to, balance each other out. Could move a bit shorter, but I suspect that, as I just indicated there, I suspect it's running in a flat, and therefore the next big move should be upward. Can I be wrong? Well, of course I can be wrong, but I'm just looking to say, well, even if I'm, what structure is that? It's a flat. It's a flat. So when you get a flat, if you're interested in trading it, either trade it from the top down if you think that the trend's in that direction, or you trade it from the bottom up if you think the trend's in that direction. CAD yen. Nice little pullback there on the 4 hours. Yet again, this one at the minute's quite difficult to. With the oil price being where it is, guys, I'm not going to. If it wasn't for the oil price, you'd maybe look at this and you'd say, hey, this is running in a flat as well on a higher time scale. So surely the next move is that, and maybe the move after it's that. But with the oil price where it is, you certainly wouldn't want to try and trade that down. Having said that, that's a massive time scale, guys. That's over well over a year and a half. So possibly, but I wouldn't be trying to trade it short from there. New Zealand yen. Yet again, guys, is this a head and shoulders? And then it starts to drop. I don't know. I would need some reason other than just this war to call the yen long, and I don't have that at the minute. If we go back to the yen index, you can see what the yen index has been doing on the daily time scale. We're looking for a bit more downside to it. I suspect there will be. It'll maybe come into there, and then we'll start to see a move up. There's been a pullback over the last few days. The index hasn't moved. Not entirely sure why it hasn't moved, because even the dollar yen, there's been a move down the dollar yen, which is yen strengthening. So you would have imagined that you would have had a bit of a spike up there. Is this chart live? Doesn't seem to be, guys. That all of these are blinking and moving. None of these are blinking or moving. I'm just wondering when these are updated. Okay, so I suspect there's going to be a little spike up in there. And unless the war really turns into something big and you get something like that, I imagine it's going to continue to drop, guys. And then down here, further down there, we'll get a turn, move back up. New Zealand CAD, yet again, it's just another one I don't really have a handle on. I was looking for it to go long. We said back here, if you got a setup, try and go long on it. And yet again, guys, you got to be brave with these things. They're going to, very rarely are you going to get a lovely thing that just keeps going up. You're going to get ups and downs and ups and downs, and then you're worried that it's going to do that, and then it moves up and it comes back down, and you're breaking even again, and then off it goes. And so often what happens in a situation like that is that you get into something, you move away on the day, you're over the moon, to put your stop to zero, you're out. Maybe you get in again as it goes, comes back down, you're back to zero, you're out, and then you actually miss the move. That happens to me often, guys. Sometimes you forget the reason why you got involved in something, which is always the worst. And then when it goes in the wrong direction, you close it. And then you come back to it and you go, do you know what? I should have kept that open, because a week later it takes off, New Zealand Swiss. That's the strengthening of the Swiss there, guys. Not entirely sure where this is going to end up going. I certainly wouldn't want to call it long or short. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I'll do another one on Monday. Bye for now.